Our turbine's been installed for approximately 6 months now, and we've been generating to the grid for approximately 3 months. We didn't generate to the grid to start with because there was a muddle up over the metering. Yeah, we had to get planning permission for the turbine. That delayed things for a long time. We got no objections from our neighbours, we had no objections from the parish council, but the actual planning of the local district council, they just seemed to come up with every barrier there was, and they just kept delaying, and they didn't seem to have a coherent policy on what they were doing. It was very frustrating. The planning officer had great concerns about the visual aspect of the turbine, but we had to reduce the height slightly due to the planning officer, which makes it less efficient. The installation costs were approximately £20,000, but we did some of the work ourselves and that cut the bill back to that figure, so on average probably £23,000. This lead brings the power in from the turbine, which goes into this box here. We can get the voltage reading. If we're producing more than 250 volts, it means we are actually producing electricity which can be either used by ourselves or goes into the mains. And then from there, it's fed into this unit via an isolator switch. In this unit, it comes in as direct current, then it is converted into alternating current. From there, it goes into our export meter, which the amount we're paid on the amount that reads, and from there it goes into our consumer unit. We're approximately earning £40 a month for the actual electricity plus what we're saving on our own bills, but as we haven't had it installed for that long, we don't have exact figures yet. The turbine produces approximately 3/4 of a megawatt per month, but again we haven't had it installed for long enough to give you an accurate estimation. We're being told that it'll cost about £250 a year per maintenance. Let's say if we can do it ourselves, that'll be minimal. We sell our electricity to one of the green electricity companies. They pay us for every megawatt produced. I think if somebody came to me and said, you know, I'm thinking of installing a wind turbine, I think I'd tell them they're not going to earn a fortune, unless they might in a few years' time, but we did it because we like it and we think we're helping the environment. But it can't be a money thing, really. If we started from scratch again and installed once more, we'd make sure all the official bits and pieces were done first. So nobody actually told us what to do, and we sort of bumbled along and found our way. We didn't get the meter installed in time. We didn't get registered to be an official generating site in time. Nobody told us we had to do it, so we didn't know. On a good day's generation, well, the best day ever, we made nearly 150 kilowatts, but the average in the winter, 80 to 100 a day, on a windy day. In the past 12 months, we produced approximately 9 megawatts of electricity, which has given us a return of about £1,200. There's been a bit of a problem with our registration, but they're trying to sort it all out. The Ofgem have made some errors on their records, etc. So, but hopefully they tell me it's on the way. There's changed the system to bring in feed-in tariffs, but as we started generating before, we were only entitled to 12p a unit produced, whereas under the new system, I think it's something like 24. When we put this up, it was mooted that we would get into the feed-in tariffs, but the government, in their wisdom, won't let us, and we're having to pay the price for being pioneers. If we'd been eligible for feed-in tariffs, we would have had a payback period of approximately 8 to 10 years. But as we're not under the old system and the payments regime we're under, it'll be approximately 20 years. But as we're a business, we can claim capital allowances on the turbine itself, which brings our payback period to approximately 15 years. You can see at the present, the turbine isn't turning. It's got high pressure and we don't get any generating in that. If it's fine weather, dry, frosty, so the summer and the really cold months, we don't get any production out of the turbine. The main months seem to be at the moment October, November, March and April, with the months either side just a little bit dribbling in and out, but the summer is just dead, and January seems to be dead because last year was because it was so cold. If we started from scratch, the main thing is to get all the paperwork right, get the contracts signed up, and then now it's also there's timescales involved before feed-in tariffs change around as well. Yeah, I still go for the same turbine. It's simple, does the job. There's nothing, all the gearing's simple. It just seems to be the simplest turbine, but the most efficient for what we want it. We've got the machinery and the know-how to be able to do the maintenance ourselves, and it's a very simple turbine, this one. It's only got a couple of grease nipples and a set of brushes that need checking regularly, and so we can lower it and raise it ourselves, so which helps us, of course.